sent him an invite to the session. Is he going to be joining us?
Oh,
You want to text him?
I am.
Starting the video recording here just so I can talk to my camera. I got Brock here. We're going to do another reality of real estate here, and we're wondering if our third person is going to be joining us. Is it Ian Thomas, Brock?
Thompson.
Thompson.
Yep.
Thompson.
And he went out on some appointments with one of our other agents, so it's possible that he may not be back in time.
Okay.
Um,
So
so
then I'm probably going to change my title.
nope.
I'm going to call it Investing in Young People.
Yeah, he's not going to be here. I'm sorry. They're not
That's
going to be
all right.
back in time.
All right.
So
So we can go back to trends again and talk about that. We can still
sure.
talk about investing in young people and
Yeah, I
the
think it's
things.
a good idea.
Okay, let's just do that. So let me get your. Give me a sound check.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 1, 2.
You're solid. You're solid. Just like normal. All right, let's get going here. Let me get this. Oh, that was. It doesn't need to be. There's Brock's. Okay, we got number 20 here. Jenna. Well, we got to talk about Jenna too. Graduating. That was so awesome. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So let's roll. We'll get this thing going and get you back to work. Unless you're done for the day.
Nope,
Right.
we got pie giveaway today.
Well,
So
that's right. Yeah, I begged off on that one because I'm not really partaking in that kind of stuff anymore. I don't want to take somebody else's pie. But
sure.
thank you for the invite. That's another thing.
You're
Talking to the camera here about Brock's giveaways and all his customer appreciation things. Solid. I could
Thank you.
swear here, and I might sometime, during our breaks. But you know me,
Sure.
Mister Salty Mouth. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Tom Matt Show. Last week, Craig was here. State of the Union. Just that show was interesting because we talked a lot about the family, and the State of the Union can be more than just the country. We're talking about the union of his family and how having those things working in your life can benefit everyone, and how you want to lead through your own personal actions in your life. And I mean, it's Craig. Just like another one of these kingpins that I love having on this radio program, one of my another regulars, my bro from another mother, brother from another mother, Brock Fletcher. Married, he's in his 40s. We won't say how old. Although he looks like he's about 15 right now with if you're watching the video, if you're catching us on the video, the
Beard
guy
free.
he looks like he's 25 years old. I swear to God. I mean, shaved off his beard and he looks like a kid. Look good, man. Look good. But
Thank
don't
you.
you're welcome. The Eaton Rapids originally graduated in 1995, which is a big school here in the mid Michigan area. First full time job. I haven't said this in a while. First full time job, Peanut Shop, downtown Lansing. I don't even know if that place is still there.
Oh, it is. New
Oh,
owners.
okay. New owners. That's how successful. This is the thing about successful business. Successful businesses know how to take care of their customers. And that's a good segue to going into Brock. Although I want to say a couple more things about his career. Been involved in real estate for a long time, vacant land purchases for over 20 years, starting in land surveying and moving into real estate sales. He knew by sticking with it and getting the right mentors, that's what we're going to say mentors a lot today, having the right mentors in the real estate game, that he could learn how to do his own due diligence, not get discouraged, because you know what, sometimes when you're starting out, it can be discouraging. You're not going to get the results that you anticipate, and we're so fixated on this instantaneous gratification. It's like what we're going to talk about with Brock today, with selling your home too quickly or being too anxious with this thing and accepting the wrong offer or accepting the wrong lender or doing all of these things that we've talked about on the previous 19 episodes that he's been with us. married. His daughter just graduated from Michigan State. We're going to talk about all that. Let's do that. This is your life with my brother from another mother. Brock is back. Brock, welcome back, brother.
Thank you, Tom. Great to be back, and thank you for the wonderful introduction. I
Oh,
appreciate
my,
it.
my pleasure, my man. My pleasure. Well, you know the drill, man. We've done this thing. We were going to have Ian Thompson in with us. Perhaps we'll do that next time because we
Yeah.
like to do these little three-way things. But before we talk about Ian and what you're doing with the young people, because I'm going to call this one today, everybody, investing in young people. Not only are our return on investments important, but our return on investment for us as growing older adults to give back to our young people. If we don't recognize the people that helped us, and God knows, I've had so many people who've helped me. It's cemented it in my brain that we have an obligation. And if you embrace it, great. If you don't, fine, that's cool. But I feel we have an obligation to helping young people. So Brock, let's talk about the fam, talk about Katie, talk about Jenna. Happy times for you guys. Thank you for coming back, and then we'll talk about investing in young people because we're gonna talk about return on investment, real estate, and all of these good things. But young people, they're driving the market. But before we go there, let's talk about you. Go ahead, please.
Oh man, I'm so happy. Jenna just graduated from Michigan State.
Congrats.
She's 21.
Congratulations.
Yep, and then she's starting grad school at Grand Valley in August for a degree in speech pathology, and that's an accelerated program, so 18 months away from being 23 and being having a career job. So really proud of her. Really proud of her. She
Well,
did really well.
as you should be. I mean, getting accepted into graduate school like that, an accelerated program, she's going to change lives with that degree. I mean, that's going to really be awesome. Your wife, Katie's in healthcare. Talk about her a little bit. Talk about the new house that you have and your new puppy and all those good things. Catch everybody up because people want to know about you as a person. Please go right ahead.
Yeah, Katie's doing well. Of course, Sparrow's um, under undergone their total changeover, to be part of the U of M health systems. So Katie's been at Sparrow for 22, 23 years since she was like 19 years of age. So she's kind of seen it all there, and so this is another thing. So she probably has 10 years left, I imagine, there before she'll retire. Um,
You
but
mean she'll refire? You mean refire?
yeah, she'll be really early retirement. She'll be 52
Oh,
when she'll be. So, but then we'll do something. Maybe she'll become a park ranger or something. I don't know. We're really outdoorsy people, so we talk about these jobs that we might have in retirement. I'll always be involved in real estate, but it's not work to me. It's just pure fun. But for Katie, who knows? We'll see what she wants to do. She'll have like 35 years in by the time she's 50, basically 52, 53. So that'll be a good career there. So
I
yeah.
tell you, if you think of it this way, okay, so Brock Fletcher's our guest today, everybody. It's always a reality of real estate when Brock's here. If you guys at your young age in your early 40s like this, if you think about the next 60 to 70 years because you're going to live to be 110, 115, if you do everything right, you get catch a couple of breaks and take care of yourself. I mean, you are definitely going to be refiring, and when you go into that retirement setup, that whole zone, you're going to flip. You're going to do something else, and you've been doing a good job with bringing the young people into your team over there at the selling team of Keller Williams. We're going to talk about that a lot today. I'm sorry we didn't get Ian in here, but that's okay because we'll talk about him. We'll talk about Dallas, the student that I sent to you from Michigan State. He was over the moon. Let's talk about Dallas first because I sent him a young man from the gym that I know that is just works hard and ask. I always ask the students about their degrees and what they want to do. And I don't even remember what he said for his degree because he said I want to go into real estate. And I said, well, okay, I got the guy. So talk about Dallas. Talk about that conversation because I just saw him and he was raving about you.
Yeah, and really, I didn't really know that what I said was that impactful. We've had a couple of meetings on Zoom and over the phone, really just talking about how to invest in real estate. Really, he's at that point where he's really just trying to figure out a path for him in regards to real estate investment. So we've kind of covered a broad range of topics, and I think he's at the point now where it's like maybe time to start implementing a little bit of something. I mean, smart young man. He appears to be driven, and the thing about real estate is it's not overly complex. It is relatively simple, but it's hard, right? It's hard work. Even when you watch an infomercial or you hear a commercial, it's like, oh, you can invest and no money down and all these people have money. It's really not, that's actually not what it is, to be honest. It's hard, right? It's hard work. And so as long as you're prepared for that, then you can do great with real estate investments, but it's hard work. It's not, there's no shortcut to it.
We've talked about this. I'm going to carry this through, Brock, because I want to come back to early in your career, and I'll bring this right back up in the second segment because we're going to go to break here in a minute. But you have discussed this throughout the 19 other episodes that you've been on about how you really took some time to find yourself. And then you had to go through the 2008 and that whole fiasco with real estate, but you still stuck with it. And I admire you for doing those types of things. And so you have that well of empathy inside of you, that you have that experience from doing all of these things. And now that we have the young people coming in and they want to help them getting into it, like an Ian Thompson, like Dallas, like all of the other ball players that you're helping and athletes that you're helping at Michigan State University, because it's male and female. We'll talk a lot about this. Kind of the primary focus of today's show, everybody, is young people or those of you who are getting into the retirement zone. Perhaps you want to go and you want to check something else out. Brock is the guy. We've talked about this. We're going to talk about this at length. Why it's a really good opportunity to explore things with a guy like Brock Fletcher, because he's so approachable. And that's what I'm going to leave it at. Investing in young people, investing in people, period. With my brother from another mother, Brock Fletcher, Reality Real Estate, the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. This is the Tom Matt Show. Cake. So nice. Easy. Let's rock. I like the topic a lot. It's what it's all about. I work with so many students. It's like, tell you guys, working with these students, it's very rewarding. It's very, very rewarding, because if they listen to you and they take your advice, I'm going to talk about this. I was talking to the camera here, Brock, but I'm going to bring this back.
Sure.
Because if you can get with them and they start to trust you, you can really be a huge, huge impactful influencer in their life. Here we go.
Yeah, for sure.
Second segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by Craig. Ameriprise Financial. Last week's episode, when we talked about State of the Union. He's been on 25 times. Guy that's our guest today, Brock Fletcher, another brother from another mother. He's been on. This is his 20th visit. That just tells you that the people like our show and our sponsors are loyal to us, which I'm very grateful for. Sandy's very grateful for. But the thing is people, they like listening to these episodes. They like them. They pick up there, and the people that hear this, they've contacted Brock. I know that for a fact because they've told me that they contact Brock. Brock's told me that they contact that. Same thing with Craig. People at Michigan State University, people that we meet. You want to find the people that can help you in your life. Craig Stiles is the guy, Ameriprise Financial Advisor. And again, full disclosure, all of our retirement zone money, all those savings for all those years, it's with Craig Stiles at Ameriprise Financial. With the right financial advisor, life can be brilliant. He wants to help you find the life you want today and well into the future. Call Craig, 1-800-528-1355. Local number 517-483-4853. Email is craig.stiles@ampf.com. Offices are located at the new location of 2651 Coolidge Road, Suite 103, East Lansing, Michigan, 48823. Let me repeat that because it's new. 2651 Coolidge Road, Suite 103, East Lansing, Michigan, 48823. Stations that have carried us in the past, that carry us now on the Michigan Talk Network, in the syndication, non-syndication, WGHN 92.1 FM in Grand Haven carried us. They were the first station to ever carry us on broadcast radio, and I'm always grateful to Will Team and Wendy Hart for doing that. WGIM 1240 AM is the flagship of the Michigan Michigan Talk Network, thanks to Stephen Ivy Gruber. And they keep putting us on the weekends, and we're all over the place on the weekends. WJRW 1340 AM in Grand Rapids, WKLQ 1490 in Muskegon, Whitehall, WYPV FM 94.5 Mackinac City, way up north where Brock's got his retirement zone spread. And of course, last but not least, the big stick at Michigan State University, WKAR AM 870 in East Lansing. On the simulcast, it's 102.3 FM. Thank you to Craig Stiles for creating Desideri Analytics, where we are making light of weighted decisions and allowing student that I've talked to and coached for a while, and a very, very good friend of mine, Anya Gerstenberg. She did her senior capstone project on Desideri Analytics and 4-pointed that thing. So what's that tell you? We're all about helping young people here. That's what we do. Let's get back to Brock and talking about this in the reality of real estate, how to invest in real estate, investing in young people. Brock, you were talking about, and I want to go right back to this with your early career and how you had to get some mentorship yourself. You went, now you're tight with Gary Keller and all of the crew down there, but it took a while, and you had to tell everybody about the soul searching you had to do when you were a youngster, a fledgling, still wet behind the ears kind of guy. Would you talk about that story, please?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I was younger even than I was. The truth of it is I was in my mid-20s, and actually really close to 30 when I really started to figure out some things. But I mean, my real defining moment in real estate was after I joined Keller Williams. I went to a training, and during a break, I introduced myself to Mo Anderson, who is she was the president of KW International at the time. She's in her 80s now. She's still, a figurehead, and she's on the board of directors. But she did the training, and I introduced myself to her during the lunch hour, and I said, my name's Brock Fletcher. I just wanted to say thank you for teaching this course today. And she said, and she's from Texas, so you have to just understand how she talks. She said, honey, how's your real estate career? And I said, well, not very good. And normally I would have lied. And I would have said, it's great or it's fine. But I was honest. I said, so it's not very good. And I'm really not sure how much longer I can even stay in the business. This was 2010. And she said, well, how much lead generation are you doing? And I said, well, what's that? And she said, well, that's the problem. And she said, I need you to make me a promise. I need you to make me a promise that tomorrow morning you're going to go to the office, you're going to be there by 9 a.m., and you're going to make phone calls, and you're going to ask people to do business with you until you get to 20 people, and it's probably going to take you 3 hours. And I need you to do that every work day forever from now on. And she said, I promise if you do that within a year, you won't have a money issue. And I said, well, you don't know how big my money problems are. And she said, well, I promise you'll at least know that you're on your way. And I'm not a person that gets paralyzed by analysis. So I made a commitment, and I did it. And that year was a big year. I went from being on the cusp of having to leave the business. I made $95,000 that next year, and which was a game changer for me because I knew I could stay in the business. Right. And I was about 30 years of age at that time, and which was about 16, 17 years ago. And that was the catalyst, right? It wasn't necessarily like it was a defining moment. It wasn't like but I would have had to leave the business eventually. Right. I mean, that was a defining moment for my career.
I love what you say here. And you had several key words: commitment, which I wrote next to that, Brock, confidence, and then game changer. How do we inspire young people to think like you did? How do we give back to the young people? I know that's kind of a really wide question, but let's just throw that out there. And because we're going to talk about this a lot on this episode. What are some of the tips that you would give to people out there that are just thinking about helping young people like you do all the time?
Yeah. Well, I think you got to be honest, and you got to be somewhat vulnerable. You got to tell the truth because the world is not a kind place. And you got to be tough, right? And we've talked about David Goggins before. Matter of fact, I'm rereading his book, Can't Hurt Me, right now. And first thing is you got to let people know that it's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. and you got to consume information that helps you to keep a strong mindset. And really the only the strong are going to survive. And this is where you can get into some controversial stuff in terms of just talking about how weak we've become here in society. But what I try to immediately instill in people is some type of intestinal toughness, right? I want to find out, have these young people dealt with some challenges in life that give them that little bit of something we can build off of, or have they been weak, right? And do we need to manufacture some toughness? And after you get through that part of it, it's really, do they want to be great, right? Because I can't make somebody find greatness if they don't want it.
Let's leave it there for a second, because manufacturing toughness, I mean, if you read the Goggins book, like Brock was just talking about, which I've read 3 times, listen to it once, go back to it. This is what high performers like a Brock Fletcher does. He knows what can get him motivated. He'll go back and revisit these lessons. You listen to people, you give people the truth, and I love what you said, Brock, about being vulnerable, because that is the key, because that makes you real. And we're going to leave it there for this segment. You're listening to the Tom Matt Show. Brock Fletcher is our guest, investing in young people. You have an idea that you think you might want to get into real estate, and it doesn't matter if you're young, old, whatever, if you're going in the retirement zone, you want to listen to this episode again. This is the Tom Matt Show. All right, let's jump into we'll jump into trends in segment 4, because that's your segment.
Sure.
Because we talked about trends a little bit last time. Let me get this other redoing here.
Yeah, I've had some of my interns listening to that book with me as we drive around on appointments and such. So
it's badass. I mean,
it is.
So that book is so solid. And I'm working with a young woman right now, and I actually gave it to her for Christmas, and she just moved. And I said, okay, once you get yourself set up and because she started her new job and all this stuff, things are going pretty well. I said, you've got to promise me, once you finish getting your apartment set up and getting yourself organized, because she's new to the area, I said, you must just start that book.
Sure.
Because young women will look at that book and go, huh? And it's like, the book is it's for men and women.
It is.
It's absolutely a winner. So
Tom, would it be okay for me to take like 10 or 15 seconds and offer a tribute for my neighbor, the one up in Mackinac City, he died.
Okay.
And I just want to say his name and just say a quick thing about him.
Yep.
Just to honor his memory, if I may.
That would be absolutely very, very cool. Let's do that right after I do this thing for Jamie. Okay, here we go. Yes, for sure. My pleasure. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Tom Matt Show, third segment of our programming, sponsored by another super cool guy, great organization, White Law. White Law. White Law. White Law is where justice meets compassion. Jamie White's is solid. I mean, his whole crew over there is just amazing, and they will help you in your times of need. White Law is your advocate, is our advocate in those times of need. They are there to listen, support, and fight for what you deserve. You need to get what you deserve. And if you haven't heard any of the episodes with Jamie on the show, because he's sort of a new sponsor, he's got a couple of them now here, you've got to go back and listen to those episodes, because that's the thing, how you get to know our sponsors and you build the trust with them. You don't even have to make a phone call. It costs you nothing. You can listen to the podcast anytime. Our website, tommattshow.com, is easy to navigate. We're on all the big carriers. A lot of people ask me, are you on Spotify? I'm like, of course we're on Spotify. We're on them all. I mean, we're on all the biggies. So you can find our show, or you can watch the videos if you want, because we're on YouTube as well. White Law will support and fight for what you deserve. Please contact White Law today for a free consultation. Free consultation. WhiteLawPLLC.com. One of the nicest websites. I'll tell you, it's nice to see that our sponsors have super duper websites, like Brock Fletcher, our guest today, and our sponsor for the Reality of Real Estate. He has a sweet website. White Law has a sweet website. Ameriprise Financial. These people invest. This is part of their marketing strategy. You don't want to have some schlock nonsense out there where people get bells and whistles and it looks like you're going to get sold something and those long lists. And no, get to the point. Let's do what we can do. Please call 517-777-9785 to get a hold of someone on the team over at whitelawpllc.com. And I want to thank Jamie as well for sponsoring the Mad Dog Minutes, which are doing very well. And they have been growing. The numbers are continuing to tick up, tick up, tick up. And that's the whole thing of being consistent. Welcoming back our guest today for his 20th visit, my brother from another mother, Brock Fletcher, investing in young people. And we'll talk about some trending, of course. We'll talk about real estate. There's more to it in life than just trying to pitch a subject matter. Like when we had Craig here, recently we were talking about family. With Brock, we're talking about the young people that he's helping, and Brock wants to give a little tribute to one of his friends. So please go right ahead, Brock. Take as long as you want to do this tribute to your friend.
Sure. So one of my a friend of mine, Ivan Stebbins, when I first bought my cottage up north, he one time told my wife, "Go get your husband right now. Go get your husband." And he wanted to tell me that he listens to the Tom Matt show and he had heard me on the show. So Ivan just recently passed away. He was 92, I believe 92 or 93 years of age. And he was a staple up in Mackinac City or along Wawadam Beach. And the ironic thing was he was our next door neighbor up there, but he lived about 4 miles from us here. He lived in Delta Township. And I would see him at Aldi all the time. And Ivan was a great man, a very giving man, World War II veteran, and he recently passed away. And so I went to his funeral, but I just wanted to pay tribute to him publicly. So if somebody's listening to this and they know Ivan, I hope it brings a smile. He was such a kind man, a giving man, and American hero, in fact. And so if you had the pleasure of knowing Ivan, please smile as he would want you to, and just bask in a moment of maybe a friendship that you shared with him. So
very well done. Thank you for doing that. And I appreciate that. I was thinking as you were starting to say this, I'd like, is this the gentleman who, this was before you were even sponsoring the show, that you
Yep.
heard us, you were still a guest, just a reality real estate. And that's what kind of cemented it in your head that your friend heard you. And that's the way it works with this stuff, you guys. I mean, so Ivan, thank you. Thank your family for what you've done and helping us with Brock and being Brock's friend. Because if you're Brock's friend, you're my friend. And 92 years old, you know what? If we can make it that far, everybody, you done good. You done
Yes.
real good. And so that means you've impacted a lot of people. And so that was well done. Thank you, Brock, for doing that. We've had some serious talk about mentoring people, young people, and older people as well. And when you have a student athlete like Ian Thompson, and we'll mention Ian today, talk about him a little bit because he was going to join us. We'll get him on the next episode, hopefully. And because I'm really close with Ashton and Darian Harris and all the crew over there at Michigan State University Athletics, and all those guys as well. We're all very tight with them. Please talk about Ian, some of his qualities. What brought him into your mentorship and your role as his mentor?
Yeah, and he's out. So he's out on an appointment with one of our agents right now, and they're not going to be back in time, as he should be. Yep. So Ian's a track guy at Michigan State. He's part of the track team, and he runs the 100-meter. That's his event.
Wow.
And so he's a sophomore, really hard worker. So our internship program has graduated just from the football program, and now it's available for all student athletes. And so our new people are starting now. But Ian's hit the ground running, and he's already making lead generation calls. He's going on appointments. He's learning how to search for properties, and I've taken him on several appointments already where he's made a difference on the appointment in terms of just communicating with the client. So his aspirations in the long term are commercial real estate. He's pursuing a degree in finance, but he's studying for the real estate course right now with me. And so we have 5 or 6 new people And then of course we've got some interns that have been with us. This will be their 3rd year with us, in fact. And some of our alumni, if you will, from like, so Trey Mosley, who was with us for 2.5 years, and now he's the Cincinnati Bengal, and Kendall Brooks, who we had 1 year with Kendall. He spent a lot of time with us. He signed a free agent deal with the Cardinals, and that didn't pan out. He got cut the last day. He's been signed by the Indianapolis Colts, and he's going to work hard to make that roster. And he's also pursuing his real estate license in the state of North Carolina. So, I mean, my goals are really clear. It's to develop talent, whether they stay with me forever or not, and to help them launch to whatever their wildest dreams are. I'm a possibilities guy, right? If you tell me your dream and you show me your intensity to achieve it, I will pretty much do everything in my power to help you win. Right?
What else can be said there? And getting back to the older adults that come in too, because you've helped so many student athletes, but we've talked about this as well. If you're an older adult, perhaps you have a grandson, granddaughter, son, daughter, and they don't really want to take that college track because you're starting to find that you might be able to do some good things. Set it up, Brock, because we got a minute and a half to go before we go to break.
Sure.
But set it up on what the potentials are for, say, an 18 or 19-year-old that comes in. Will you train them up?
I will. Yep, absolutely. It's not easy. That's the first thing I'll say. And we get right into the truth zone, which is only 5% make it. And just statistically in real estate, 95% of all people that get their license leave the business in 3 years. So you're talking about an industry where only 5% are going to make it. And really, to throw another stat in there, in the greater Lansing area, if you're not in the top 100 agents, which represents the top about 9%, if you're not in the top 100, you don't make a 6-figure income, right? So what I'm intent and purposeful to do is help people make it beyond 3 years and get into the top 100, because in America, you really can't live a good life unless you're making 6 figures. I mean, if you're listening to this and that struck a chord, I'm sorry, but that's true, right? That's just a true statement. Right.
And other thing is, and let me carry this through, Brock, because that's a really good statement. We're going to come back because we're going to talk about trends when we come out of break, everybody. But the one thing you always want to reinforce with young people is you can't build wealth without real estate. It's just that
No.
you can't do it. And we have talked about this, and we'll talk about this more when we come back, because Brock's the man, and it's a fact. It is absolutely a fact. Brock Fletcher's with us, investing in young people, ideas all over the place on what we're going to be doing. We'll talk when we come back. We'll talk about trends in real estate with my brother from another mother, Brock Fletcher. You're listening to the Tom Matt Show. That struck a chord with me. That worked. Yep. Let's roll. Let's roll. Fourth segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by my guest today, my brother from another mother, Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams Realty. The key word with all of our sponsors, and this is the key word, actually started with Brock's crew when they sent me the topics for doing my reads for him. My reads aren't really reads. They're just me speaking from my heart because I love these guys so much. But it's trust. You have to trust these people. If you can't trust these people with the real estate, with the financial fitness, with your law, with anything that you need done in law, then you need to find somebody else. And Brock is our man. And again, full disclosure, Brock, he helped me before he even knew who I was. He gave me some very, very prescient advice about Big House Holt. When we finally did get ready to move on from Big House Holt, which we had no anticipation, that was our dream home. That was our forever home. And how many other people out there talk about and get these forever homes? It's like what's that financial guy that you listen to all the time, Brock? What's that cat's name?
Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey, I heard him say on his show, he's had 3 or 4 forever homes. You need to have a real estate agent and a team that can help you do these things. That's what happens with the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Okay, numbers coming at you. First one's the office, 853-6408. 517-853-6408. His pocket phone, his cell phone, his connection to the world. And this is the way to do it, everybody. 517-303-3262. Do you notice how I changed my cadence a little bit on that? Because I want you to check that phone number, mark that down, text Brock, tell him where you heard it from. You heard it from Tommy. He'll know exactly where you're talking about. Text him, leave him a voicemail. He will get back to you that day, I promise you.
Yep.
Or you can go to kwsellingteam.com, sell your home without hassles, like we did when we sold our big household. And then when we bought Little House Lansing, where we're doing this recording session now, we had Mike Dedman. Mikey, thank you for doing that. All of the whole team over there. We've done some speaking engagements with Brock. We've done events with him. He's having one of his giveaways today for his customer appreciation. Guy does some of the most amazing things with customer appreciation stuff because he values you guys. He values me. He values the people out there. Brock invests way ahead of time in his marketing. Part of what we achieve with Brock, he invests way ahead of time because he wants to get you the best bang for your buck. And that's what you need to get. When it comes to real estate, take all that pressure away. Call Brock. I got so many stories. We'll continue to talk about this. All right, we need to get into the trending here. We've been talking about investing in young people and older people as well, getting into the real estate business. And Brock he's the consummate, he's a coach. When he started talking, Brock, you know what I thought of last segment when you started talking about Ian Thompson and some of the other athletes that you've worked with. I'm looking at you like coach. You're a coach. You're helping these people. You coach them up. Let's talk about coaching people up with the trends in real estate that's going on right now and just tell everybody what's the latest and greatest. I mean,
Sure.
This is the reality real estate episode. Go ahead. I'm going to give you the rest of the segment to talk about the do's, the don'ts, and all the good things. What do we got going on out there?
Sure. Well, let me first say, you don't need a title to be a coach or a leader, right? You just have to lead, right? But you got to be authentic, right? That's critical. And the reason that people trust me when it comes to real estate is because I'm really authentic, and it's obvious that I'm an expert in my subject matter. So the things that you really need to know right now as a consumer is that what you're seeing on the news is not real, not true, not accurate. I'm seeing so much inaccurate information. It's totally wrong. So here's
what, Brock?
Everything, right? Everything that you're seeing on the news is completely inaccurate. But here are some key things you've got to know. Inventory is the lowest it's ever been, right? The lowest it's ever been. For the most part, when a home is listed for sale, it's selling within 7 to 10 days, and there are at least 4 or 5 offers on it. The average sales price is over 100% of the listing price, right? And to win in a competing offer situation, you've typically got to have an escalation clause, an appraisal guarantee. You've got a limit request on your home inspections. You've got to be working with a great agent that the co-oping agent will trust, and you got to be working with a great local lender. Now, you can call me to get more insight because I'm trying to give you as much information as possible in a short period of time. Home values are still going up by 5% per year, and interest rates are over 7%. And I pray that people will quit praying for real estate interest rates to go down. The ripple effect of them going down would be crippling to the real estate market, right? We need high interest rates right now because it's the only thing keeping residential real estate values from hitting double-digit appreciation per year, right? You want to buy a house? Go buy a house right now, right? Who cares if you're paying 7 and 8% interest rate? Refinance in a couple years when the rate comes down. But the Fed, by keeping rates high, is saving us. And guess what? My business is in a recession, and I'm telling you, don't wish for lower interest rates. It's totally fine and acceptable that there's about 30% fewer transactions that are going to happen this year than happened 2 years ago. That's fine, right? Because it's the only thing keeping real estate from becoming so entirely unaffordable for young people. That will be catastrophic, by the way. we need to slow down the appreciation to allow young people to continue to buy homes. So let's please quit praying for lower interest rates. We need the interest rates to be where they are until we get wages and more housing inventory, right? We need those things to happen. And we need to control inflation. And the only way to control inflation is to raise interest rates. So we need it. We need what we're getting right now. Just be patient. Good things are going to happen.
That is so counterintuitive to if you were thinking you're going to get a sales pitch from my brother, Brock Fletcher here, it's so counterintuitive to what you may imagine. But what Brock said earlier about being in the truth zone and what I said about all of our reads for our sponsors is trust. That's the whole point. You've got to find these people that are going to help you understand because Brock, you basically just boiled it down into about a 4 minute synopsis of why people need to stop praying for lower interest rates and get busy. Because we were talking about the only way you're going to build wealth in your life, you can't rent, you must buy.
Mm-mm.
Please, you got another couple minutes to go here. Let's
Yeah.
reinforce what's happening because rents are just going through the roof
Yeah.
and people are paying it. People,
Yep.
because they need someplace to live.
You got to live someplace. That's right.
Live
Yeah.
someplace.
So we've got to do a couple things here. We've got to start educating our young people on how to save. We got to quit buying coffee at Starbucks and live in this immediate, like, I mean, spending $10 on a drink, right, every day. I know people that are making $15 an hour that stop every day and buy a Starbucks. That's $300 a month. And they're not saving, right? The savings rate is below 10%. That's not good, right? So what we need to do as a society is deprive ourselves a little bit of the immediate gratifications of life. Pack your lunch, make your coffee at home, drink tap water, right? In a refillable. I mean, I'm not even saying that to save the planet. I'm just saying quit spending money like there's an endless that money that you're spending if you're a young person or even if you're in your 30s or 40s and you're not set for retirement, that money needs to be invested, right? You've got to invest 10% of your income for short-term savings, and you got to save 10% of your income for long-term retirement. And if you've been delinquent in that, then you got to go more to make up for lost time. But until we start to talk about saving and investing, and give that more screen time than we do buying a Stanley mug or some Lula something or other spandex athletic apparel or whatever, right? We need to save our money, right? So let's quit buying stuff that we don't need and start saving money.
And we'll leave it there because we're going to go to break here. And we come back, we're going to continue to help you understand how important it is to save money because the only way you're going to gain wealth in your life is to buy real estate. And the only way you can buy real estate is by saving money. So it kind of goes together. You see what we're talking about here, everybody? Again, Brock Fletcher, investing in young people. This is the thing about helping our young people understand the value of money. We're falling down and not helping them understand this, and we're going to talk more about this when we come back. Again, Tom Matt Show. Thank you for Brock Fletcher being with us, investing in young people.
The funny part is I do own stock in that Lula whatever company, but I don't own any of the clothes, but I own stock in that company. So
I get hit with so much stuff because I'm on social media so much, and I'm posting stuff all the time with all kinds of different things, and I get all of these crazy clothing ads like on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm looking at these shirts and they're all cut for these dudes that are like ripped like crazy. And they're going to make, people think, oh, that's going to make me look, if I buy that shirt, it's going to make me look like that guy. Well, no, not really. But the point being is if you look at the cost, which I look down at the cost and you look at a t-shirt that costs $100, I'm like, Ain't no way.
No, no.
This this ain't happening.
I buy most of my clothes at TJ Maxx. Or,
We
I mean, really, to be
I,
honest.
we like treasure hunting and going to VOA and
Sure.
supporting those kind of organizations and just for the fun of it. Fine. And you won't believe some of the stuff I found. I mean, I give a lot of my stuff away. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna need your contact info here. I'm gonna throw it
Sure.
right here in a second. Okay, Mo Anderson. What a rock star she is. Here we go.
She really is.
Fifth segment, Tom Matt Show is sponsored by whoever wants to get it. But for now, it's me and it's me, Brock, talking about our websites and our contact info. TomMattShow.com. Simple. I'm going to leave it there. I want Brock to take this time to share all his numbers, the 303 number, the 853 number, all of the website. Please go ahead, take your time, talk about these things. And then when we come back, we'll talk more about helping people learn how to save some money.
Sure. And I'm really genuine in that, I do really want you to contact me on my cell phone if you need assistance. And even if it's just a question about the market, because I want to provide great education, the relationship can blossom from there. But my cell phone is always the best way. It's 517-303-3262. You can call me, you can text me. I return all my calls every day. I return all communication every day. If you feel more comfortable to email me, that's fine. It's brock@kwsellingteam.com. I'm not as quick on the emails because I'm spending so much time on my phone, but every morning and every evening I finish with my emails. And if you want to call the office, that's fine, and talk with our wonderful administrative team. That number's 517-853-6408. And if you're not sure if you want to talk with me, or not, you can always go to Google and just type Brock Fletcher. I'm going to pop up. You're going to see 461 5-star reviews or whatever we have. Read a few of the reviews. If that's what gives you great comfort, you're going to read some of my teammates' reviews. The thing about me is I'm always trying to bring value to every relationship. And I believe primarily that's done through education. I'm a very direct person. I'm a blunt person. That's my natural personality. I never am trying to be mean or anything, but I believe in the truth, and I believe that people need the truth. They don't need to hear just somebody is going to tell them everything you think is right. Right? I'll validate you if I agree with you, but if I see that your plan is going to lead to demise, I will tell you the truth, and I will answer your questions honestly. Even if it means there's no real estate transaction, because at the end of the day, I actually don't care if we transact with one another. What I do care about is making sure that you make a good decision. And if that creates a transaction, I'm happy to serve you.
Let me go back and tell us a quick story, everybody. And this feeds into what Brock was just talking about. Brock Fletcher's our guest today, Reality Real Estate. My former next door neighbor, Mike, he got a job offer. This was right after COVID. So everything is still scrambled like crazy. And they need to go like quick. He got a job up in Charlevoix or Traverse City or something like that. And that was his dream spot. He needed to go. Just had a baby. Him and his wife were just, they were going. They had this little house next door to us, sweet little house. And he came over and he needed some advice. And he said, I think I can get, this. And I said, well, what do you think you can get for it? And he told me a number. And I thought, I don't know that if that's accurate or not. So I said, do you have an agent? He said, oh, we're kind of talking to somebody. I said, okay, great. I said, let me give you some advice. Call my buddy Brock. And he did. And I didn't even know that he did this. I just threw it out there and said, just do whatever. Make your own choice here, brother. He did. Then I saw the sign in his front yard with Brock's team, the selling team of Keller Williams. And this is a honest to God truth story, everybody. Brock got the household in about a week. Like he said, 7 days. He got, from what Mike told me he was thinking about getting, he got him $20,000 more than what he was telling me when he came over to our living room. So that is a true story. And Brock, I like sharing that story because it's very accurate. It's very truthful. And that's the way it goes. Because, and it wasn't no hard sell at all. I mean, it was just like you just gave him some advice and he trusted you and he hired your team, and boom, you guys took great. He was so well. You put an extra 20 grand in his pocket. People tend to like that kind of stuff, don't they, Brock?
They do. They do. And you know, I don't pretend that that's something special that I do provide a great service, great photography, all that stuff to make sure that the listing is represented as good as it possibly can and it shows the best. But I do recognize that there's good fortune in the market, right? So it's not like I'm saying, hey, this is all me. It takes a great homeowner to have the property ready to go, right, and to look great. And then when I do my part, a good outcome can happen. So it's not just a hey, Brock's everything, but I will tell you, I'm all about you winning, right? I'm all in for every one of my clients. That's very authentic.
Love it. And that's coach. That's coach speak for you right there, because he wants you to win, and he will do the things ahead of time. That's the whole thing about winning. Everybody, Brock knows this. It's all about the prep. It's all about the reps. It's all about the prep and the practice. And if you practice what you preach, you will be successful. But you got to put in the reps, and you got to put in the time. And that's what the Goggins book says. The Goggins book is like, you can't hurt me, never give up. That's the whole thing about all of what we're doing here. You mentioned truth zone. You talked about, and I wrote down counterintuitive. I'd like you to talk more about Mo Anderson, because she was a mentor to you, and we've been talking about investing in young people, and she is now in, like you said, early '80s Fireball, Keller Williams lead team. I'd like to talk a little more about the impact she had on your life, because you told the story a little bit about her, but expand on that, because that's the whole gist of what we're talking about today with saving and getting people to understand it. You the only way, everybody, that you're going to build wealth in this life is you must own real estate. Just one piece. Brock, please, let's talk a little bit more about Mo Anderson, since we're doing all of this mentoring talk today and investing in young people. You were ready to fold a tent. You were throwing the cards on the table. You were done, right?
Yeah, and it's a fitting day to kind of talk more about her too, because yesterday was Red Day here at Keller Williams. Red Day is so there's roughly 160,000 Keller Williams associates in the world, and every year on Red Day, it's always in May. Um, every Keller Williams associate is supposed to not do real estate work that day, and they're supposed to go out in the community and do acts of service for other people. And that was yesterday for us. And we did my group, we were at Ellie's place yesterday, doing yard work and mulching and things of that nature. But Gary Keller, who's the owner of Keller Williams Realty International, gave Red Day to Mo as a birthday gift, probably 15 or 16 years ago. It was a birthday gift as a thank you for how she had helped Gary build the company and provided such great mentorship to so many KW associates. So we do Red Day in honor of Mo, and so every year we do it. It's a tribute to her. She's still alive. She's in her 80s, and she's still really involved with the company. And so she's meant a great deal to me. And although if you went to Mo and said, "Hey, do you know Brock?" she would probably not immediately know who I was, because she's impacted so many people, right? And I'm sure there's many people in our organization and even outside of Keller Williams that would say she created a defining moment in my life. And Mo tells a story that is very impactful. And she was a school teacher before she was an agent. And there was a very trying time in her life. And she would walk to her kindergarten class that she taught, and she would weep because her family was in great turmoil. And she would have to psych herself up before she would get to class. And she would say this mantra, that if you want to be enthusiastic, you have to act enthusiastic. And she would say, I'm going to be enthusiastic and I'm going to act enthusiastic. And she would repeat it 20 or 30 times to help her stop crying so that she could go and be influential to her kindergarten class. And what she found was, by changing her physiology and her mindset, she became enthusiastic, and it minimized the pain that she was having in her family. And so I guess the thing I'll leave with you guys is, if you want to change your situation, then you must change your physiology and you must change your self-talk. And you can prophesize yourself to a better place by changing your physiology, physical movement, and the self-talk you use. So if you're having a bad day and you want to snap yourself out of it, why don't you jump up, do about 10 jumping jacks, and then anchor a positive affirmation to yourself with some kind of an anchor, like I can do this, or I will do this, or or I'm enthusiastic, or whatever. You can change yourself every day, even if you're going through a tough time.
That was awesome. Everything that Brock just said, I live by what he just said. That's why we're so close. Everything he just said is spot on. Brock, I need about a 30-second takeaway from today's episode. Another really good one with you, number 20. Please, can you give me a quick takeaway?
Yeah, I think we need to hear something right now as a country, because there's a lot of negativity going around. You really do have to be the change, right? You have to be the change you want to see. And it's disturbing to see what's going on these college campuses, and all the anti-Semitism and all that stuff. And I think we have got to, as go do something nice for somebody right now, right? And be a conductor of positivity, right? Be the difference you want to see in the world. It must start with regular people like us.
Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thank you to Brock for bringing all of his wisdom and his love and his joy to this radio program, to Sandy, to Craig, to Jamie White. We'll talk to everybody next week, and have a great week. Go out and ignite your life. Tom Matt Show is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. And lastly, I want to say thank you to Mitch Anderson. We're out. Dude, that was freaking badass. And
Thank you.
I'm recording video here, and it's like, this is definitely going up. And it's like, and I'm gonna swear now because I'm not. That was fucking great, dude. And that's
Thank
the way
you.
we talk. When you're really fired up about this shit,
Right.
God dang it, man. And we got to help these people. And Brock, saving money. I like the direction we went in with this. I kind of went in a similar direction with Craig at the last recording I did with him. We really didn't talk about the business that much. We talked
Yeah.
about all the other, and then we need to continue to do this, because with your wisdom and the ability to just inspire people, that was fucking great, dude. I mean, that was great. When you going to get me to come with the retirement zone to go down to Keller Williams? You tell those guys, I'll go down to their show. I'll give them a show and their money's worth like they ain't never seen before.
I
And bring you up there, we'll kill it, dude.
I had an interview last week with Jason Abrams' executive. So Jason is like one of the top people, and they called to interview with me last week. And so I think I might be on the short list to be called to be on stage. So if I get to that level, then they probably will start to listen to me in terms of, hey, maybe I'll get them to bring Tom Matt out for the
What
CEO summit or something.
the reality of real estate is, and I would just like to come to convention, and I would just record there and just have people
Sure.
come and meet all those people, because I did interview long time ago, Guy Papazan.
Jay Papazan.
Jay
Yep.
Papazan. Sorry, Jay.
Yep.
And yeah, I interviewed him. He had a book, and I, did the book, and that was way before you and I met each other. I'm saying,
Yeah.
he's still
Was
with them.
that? Oh yeah, he's Gary's co-author on everything.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's right up there on the leadership team.
Oh
Was
God.
it Body for Life? Was that the book, or was it a different book? Because he co-wrote that with Bill Hidlay, I believe is the name. Before he joined KW, he was co-author of Body for
He
Life.
helped Body for Life. That was Bill Phillips.
Bill Phillips, yeah. Jay was his co-author.
Oh, no
Like,
kidding. I don't think I knew that. And
yeah,
this is another cool story that Body for Life was the very first book. Well, there's a second book actually. There was another one that the next $1 trillion industry or something like that was the first one that got me thinking about, what are we going to do the next thing? But Body for Life, I read that, and that was before Sandy and I even got married.
yeah,
And I needed something,
me
and
too.
it worked. The problem was is I stretched his free day into 2 free days and then
Sure.
3 free days. And you
Yeah,
convince yourself that it's okay because it's such a gradual process, and it's not the way it works, everybody. So I don't really have free days anymore. The only time we have like free stuff is like holidays, birthdays, graduation, stuff like that, special occasions. Then yeah, that's fine. I mean, you don't want to have that deprivation. But no, that Jay Pep's and this was maybe a Gary Keller book that he co-authored, and
yeah.
or it was something he wrote. I'll have to look it up because it was great. He's a great writer.
Maybe
He's
as the one thing.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yep, the
yeah,
one.
yep,
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 for sure.
yep.
So tell Ian that he's welcome back next time.
I
Uh,
will.
if you want to do that. And I hope things work out with Dallas. I'm telling you, he was very, very grateful and very happy. And he says, "Oh, he's thanked me so many times." And he just
Good.
went through a really severe knee injury, and the guy's recovered very quickly. But another one of these go getters. And so for you people watching the video right now, we are sincere here when we're talking about getting you guys into the real estate game. you it's great training. If you just took the training with Brock and did it for to give it a shot for 3 to 5 years, the skill sets that you're going to learn will transfer into all kinds of other things in your life, right, Brock? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. So hey, brother, thank you for everything. Good luck
my
with
pleasure.
Friday, and I hope our boys from Michigan State do well. And we re-upped our season tickets, so we're back on again for sure. And I didn't go to the green and white game because the weather wasn't that great, but I was going to. And we'll see. I mean, college sports has changed so dramatically. It's crazy. But we did an NIL event. We did that NIL event that I invited you to.
Yeah, yep,
That went really well, and we talked to a bunch of the female athletes. We talked to a couple of football players, and the thing is, I'll leave you with this: is there were certain people in the athletic department. I'm not going to mention their names because we're recording, but they poo-pooed me at an event. We were out there, and they said, "Well, I told them what my pitch was with the athletes. I want to help them, NIL stuff, give them some exposure, that kind of stuff." They won't do it. They never want to do that kind of stuff. You're wasting your time, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, fine. Thank you. So we went to this NIL event, and guess what? They want to do it. And then I found out one of the speakers, they weren't giving NIL money. They were giving NIL in kind of trades. Like this lady owned a hotel or ran a hotel or something.
yeah,
They didn't have the funds to give money, but they had the facility to give to parents that were traveling or coming to games, and they offered that to the athletes, and the athletes were thrilled with that. So when I mentioned coming on and giving them exposure and explaining to them, this only helps your career, it only helps your exposure. I mean, we sell the show, we get $1,000 to $1,500 an episode, depending on the time of year, and we don't do that very rarely. Do we ever do that? But that's kind of what you need to think about. It's like, well,
yep,
it's like a little, freebie here, and then we produce it all up, and you got a free digital something to pitch yourself to people, and you just
absolutely.
share that on your website, share it on your resume, however because everything's so digitized now that having a piece of digital content like that to support your career. That's why I like doing the college stuff. And
Yep.
Ian could have promoted himself or at least shared his face. We'll get him.
We'll
Just
get him
tell
next time. He's a
We'll
good
get him next time.
kid.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Hey, brother, I don't want to hold you any longer. I know you got things to do. Thank you again,
Have a
and I'll get this all out to you. We're about 4 weeks out, so great one. Good job.
awesome. You too. Thanks, Tom.
See you, brother. Love you. See you. Bye.
Take care.
Okay, man. Having a friend like Brock Fletcher and his team and Mike Dedman and all the people out there is so awesome and so wonderful. I just can't say enough about it. So I want to thank Brock for coming out for his 20th visit. Again, if you just listen to the whole show, you know that we didn't really talk that much about real estate. We talked, he made it very tight and very concise, but we talked more about people and how we need to help the world get better. And that's what we do here. And I'm so down with this stuff, you guys. I can't even tell you. That's why they do the hashtag dad talks. That's why I do the Papa Tom stuff. That's why I love them so much. All of them. So great. So until next time, Papa Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for watching, listening, subscribing, doing all those good things. Peace out. Love y'all. Talk to you later. I'm Papa Tom.